Hello boys and welcome to another one of these things. So I'm sure you've noticed, but the new Warhammer 40,000 battle forces have just been revealed. This was actually yesterday, so I'm 24 hours late to the party, but I'm at the party nevertheless. So we're just going to have a little look at these things, see if they're any good. Yeah, let's have a look. So, first off, the first thing they've got to show us is the new Astra Militarum platoon. Now, straight away out the gate, this one is looking like the strongest option that has been revealed so far. I'm going to quickly skim through all of them, what's on offer, then we're going to have a little bit more of a deep dive on each one, and we'll find out if which one's worth getting and which one's maybe one to give a miss to. So, we've got Astra Militarum. We've got the Tyranid Swarm, we've got the Chaos Space Marines Warband, and we've got the Necron host. Just 4 this time. I think there's usually 4 or 6, depending on the release sometimes. I think more often than 6, so this is quite a small number of battle forces to come out. Obviously, it's not the Christmas battle force release that they usually do around Christmas time, which is quite nice to see that battle forces are just generally on the menu, as opposed to being something that in this day and age is restricted to purely a Christmas thing. There used to be a battle force for more or less every single army back in the day, but let's not speak too much of the past or I might start crying. So the Astra Militarum platoon, this is looking like a beautiful, well-rounded force that is suitable for both beginners and new players to the Astra Militarum. You've got your Rogel Dawn main battle tank. You've got your lovely 10-man squad, infantry squad, and you've got a 5-man command squad in there as well as a commissar, a double. Two what would you call them, heavy weapons emplacements, I suppose. You've got the mortars and the little battle cannon, and then you've got the basilisk. Now this is a beautiful, well-rounded force, which really is in all essences just a straight up army in a box. Beautifully well-rounded, applicable to anyone, and you can do a lot of stuff with it. This is something that somebody with an existing army can take quite can take advantage of, to be fair, because everything in there is something that you're going to want multiples of. Maybe perhaps not the command squad, but I'm sure there are myriad ways to use that command squad, especially in tournament play or more competitive styles. 100 different ways you can jig these guys up with different weapons, and they can serve all sorts of purposes. So this is a box that you could just immediately buy 2 of and have a really nicely well-rounded army straight off the bat. There's nothing much bad to say about this. I'm an Astra Militarum player. It looks great to me. Only thing is, I've already got 3 basilisks and I'm not convinced I need a 4th one, as blasphemous as that may sound. So it may be something I pick up, maybe not. I like the fact that the Cadian Command Squad is built into this one, and there's infantry in addition. If for anybody who has only 2 basilisks or no basilisk or just any kind of number of other parts of this box, I would say hell yeah, this is a great box, and you should be excited about it. Obviously, we don't know the pricing yet, so we'll get onto that and what we think it might be at the end and make a prediction on the pricing for these boxes. But anyway, let's continue to the Tyranid Swarm. Now, this is a good box as well. But and I'm a Tyranid player too. I collect a few armies, guys. So the thing that sticks out to me on this one immediately, and I just want to get the negative over with, is the leapers. There's the 3 leapers there. I don't know if you guys noticed, but especially with those magazines that came out, these models are littering the place. There's a lot of them out, and it kind of feels like a cheap inclusion. The amount of them around has very much so cheapened the value of these miniatures, and them being in there feels like a waste of space because everybody has got them. If you're a Tyranid player, you've probably got multiple packs of them. I mean, you were literally paying a couple quid to acquire 3 of them from the magazine, so they're we're inundated with them already. Everybody's already got them, and I don't think they're the kind of model that you can really have like 3 or 4 squads going around of it. So that's the only kind of sticking point. The rest of it looking pretty damn positive. Taking Tyranid back to its roots of being a lovely swarm army. You've got 10 Hormagaunts, 10 Termagaunts, and then you've got my absolute favorite Tyranid unit, Tyranid Warrior, and a Hive Tyrant. You can pretty much never have too many Hive Tyrants. You've got your standard Hive Tyrant, which comes in 2 different ways. You can have him with the Bone Sword, the Whiplash, and then there's 2 different guns you can put on him, and then you can have him with the Scything Talons, and then you can make him as a Swarm Lord, and you can make him as a winged Tyrants of all these other different variants as well. So there's all sorts of things you can do with that Hive Tyrant. You could have like literally 6 or 7 Hive Tyrants in your army. Don't know if that's like legal in terms of competitive rule sets, but if you want 5 or 6 different Hive Tyrants, you can do that. So Hive Tyrant is definitely one that you can add to your army, even if you've already got multiple of them. The Tyranid Warriors are something you can always have more Tyranid Warriors, and it doesn't really need to be said, does it? You can always have more Gaunts. This is a great box, and there is the solid Shadow Leaper, I believe he's called, or Lictor. Not quite sure what they're calling that guy these days, but the big proper Lictor is in there as well. So this is a great purchase really for any Tyranid player. I just think the only thing that's letting it down is the fact that they've ham-fisted those Leapers in there. What I kind of would have liked to have seen instead would be maybe some kind of like a Biovore or something like that, maybe some Gene Stealers perhaps. But yeah, you know, overall great box. I just think the Astra Militarum one has just edged out ever so slightly. So Chaos Space Marine Warbands. Now, I don't know much about Chaos Space Marines, never collected them. They're not really kind of around in my circles much. However, this box does look very, very nicely well-rounded. You've got a little bit of everything, and you've got a nice selection of chunkier boys in here. So you're gonna have to excuse me because I don't actually know all the names for these things. So you've got plenty cultists there. It looks like you've got 20. Looks like you've got 20 cultists. You've got 2 obliterators, which I thought were Hellbrutes until I looked it up just before. You've got the Lord Discordant on the spider guy, the spider. Again, sorry, don't know the things. And then you've got that big top-assed spider thing. I don't know what that's called, but it looks cool. It's like a mini Defiler, pretty sick. And then you've got 10 Chaos Space Marines, very well rounded, great box. You could pick this up and run with it, and have a really good army to play games straight out of the box. I mean, that's a really good army in terms of buying an army in a box. That's looking very sweet indeed. So I'm going to touch on this last one, and then we're going to get into what I reckon the prices on these are going to be. Yeah, so Necron Host. Alright, so like the Chaos Space Marines, I'm not too down with Necrons. Never collected them. But from an overall standpoint, what I'm seeing is a lot of new, fresh models. We're not getting chucked some stuff that is kind of that's in the backlog, if you know what I mean. You've got the new Wraiths, which I think are really nice miniatures. You've got this assault barge or whatever it is. I'm not sure what it's called. I'm sorry, don't shoot me, Necro players. And then you've got 20 warriors, which is great. I mean, if you remember, I mean, back in like 4th edition, Necrons used to be a horde army. I mean, that was how you played Necrons. They were like a wave of zombies. So having 20 Necrons in there, Necron warriors in there, is perfect to get that classic Necron army straight out of the box. And then you've got your flayed ones, and then you've got that big creepy crawly thing, which I think has something to do with resurrecting them. But yeah, a nice big miniature in there alongside that battle assault barge, destroying floaty speeder raft thing. So that's a very nicely well-rounded box, and it has a little bit of everything in there which you think of when I think of classic Necrons. A big central firepower piece there in the middle, a nice swarm of metallic zombies stepping towards you. The wraiths, which were just like such an amazing part of the Necrons from back in the day. That's such a beautiful callback, the way that they've reproduced this miniature, and an absolutely gorgeous edition of the new flayed ones, which are magnificent, and they are very expensive, so it's nice to have them bundled into a box. If I was a Necron player, I would be buying this one, and this is the one box out of all of these, I think, that has the most repurchase ability. You could go ahead and just buy 3 of these and have a great well-rounded force. You could spam this box over and over again, to be honest, because there's no immediate. I think that is a HQ option on that barge thing. I think it is a Necron Lord on there, but I imagine there's a way that you can build it so it's just a standard heavy support option. I may be wrong on that, but it is a very nice box if you wanted to get multiple of them to have a really big force. So that's a great box. That's probably marginally better than the Tyranid box, perhaps, overall, given everything I've just said there. I think they're probably vying for second place together. But on top, for me, is probably the Astra Militarum one, just for its well-roundedness, and having those 2 big vehicles in there is always very nice. But now, let's get on to how much we think it's actually going to cost. Now, I'm going to double check the, well, what I can tell you immediately off the bat is the last Christmas Battleforces were 160 quid. Now, that was in October last year. So Games Workshop don't particularly like to not put the price up. So we've just had our release of Armageddon, and that put us up at £185 for that box. The last Battleforce has been at 160. I wouldn't be surprised if these are sitting somewhere in between that, so you could take a stab at any number in between those two. I would be very, very surprised if they put it up to 185 or 180. It would seem to me it would be more sensible to have these come in at a 160, hopefully, to 175 price tag. But I have a little bit of a sneaking suspicion. They've just been released. Just days after, well, not days, but weeks after the Armageddon stuff has been released, right? And I have a sneaking suspicion that they're going to creep the prices up of these Battleforces in order to point the finger over to the Armageddon box and say, look how good value it is. You get 2 armies in this box for nearly the same price as the Battleforces. I'm sure you can see what I'm getting at here. I don't think these are going to be as good value in terms of pure buying power for miniatures as the Armageddon box, and I think they're kind of using it as a juxtaposition to be able to put that Armageddon box up on a manufactured pedestal. But that's just a theory of mine. Let me know what you think it's going to end up costing, because God only knows what they have in mind. Anyway, that's all from me today. Like, subscribe, join the Discord if you want to, and take it easy.